I'll never forget the way the autumn leaves glowed outside our dining room window that evening, casting a warm, amber light across the table. It was supposed to be a special night, a family dinner to celebrate my parents' 40th wedding anniversary. The house smelled of rosemary and roasted chicken, my mom's signature dish, and the table was set with her favorite lace tablecloth, the one she only brought out for big occasions. My husband, David, had promised to be there, right by my side, to toast to love and family. But when he walked through the door, he wasn't alone. And what happened next? Well, let's just say it turned our cozy family gathering into something straight out of a drama. David and I had been married for 8 years. We weren't perfect, but I thought we were solid. Sure, we'd had our rough patches, late nights at his office, arguments about money, the usual stuff couples go through. But I loved him. I loved the way he'd hum off-key while making coffee, the way he'd leave little notes on my pillow when he left early for work. I thought we were building a life together, you know? But lately, something had shifted. He'd been distant, his phone always buzzing, his excuses piling up. I tried to brush it off, telling myself it was just stress from his new promotion. Deep down, though, I knew something was wrong. That night, I was in the kitchen helping my mom plate the mashed potatoes when I heard the front door open. "Sarah, David's here," my dad called out, his voice warm with that fatherly pride he always had for his son-in-law. I smiled, wiping my hands on a dish towel, ready to greet him. But then I heard another voice, a woman's voice, light and unfamiliar, laughing at something David said. My stomach twisted. I stepped into the dining room, and there she was, a woman I'd never seen before, standing next to my husband, her hand resting casually on his arm. She was younger than me, maybe late 20s, with sleek blonde hair and a smile that screamed confidence. She wore a red dress that hugged her figure, and her laugh filled the room like she owned it. David, on the other hand, looked like he just walked into a lion's den. His eyes met mine, and for a split second, I saw panic flicker across his face. "Sarah," he said, his voice too bright, This is Emily. She's a colleague from work. I thought it'd be nice for her to join us." "A colleague? At my parents' anniversary dinner?" My mom froze, a serving spoon hovering over the gravy boat. My dad's smile faltered, and my little sister, Jess, raised an eyebrow from across the table. The air felt thick, like the moment before a storm breaks. I forced a smile, my heart pounding. "Nice to meet you, Emily," I said, my voice steady despite the chaos in my chest. "Let's sit down." Dinner was torture. Emily chatted away, oblivious to the tension, complimenting the food, asking my parents about their love story. David kept his eyes on his plate, barely touching his food. My mom tried to keep things light, but I could see the worry in her eyes. Jess wasn't so subtle. She kept shooting me looks, her fork stabbing her chicken like it had personally offended her. I sat there, picking at my food, my mind racing. Why would David bring her here? What was he thinking? And then it hit me, like a punch to the gut. This wasn't just a colleague. This was something else entirely. I excused myself to the kitchen, pretending to grab more wine, but really I needed to breathe. I leaned against the counter, staring at the divorce papers I'd hidden in my purse earlier that day. I hadn't planned to serve them tonight. I'd been carrying them around for weeks, unsure if I could go through with it. David's late nights, his secrecy, the way he'd stopped looking at me like he used to, it all added up to a truth I didn't want to face. But seeing Emily, her hand on his arm, her laugh echoing in my family's home, it was the final straw. I grabbed the papers, my hands trembling, and walked back to the dining room. The chatter stopped as I stood at the head of the table, clutching the envelope. David looked up, his face pale. "Sarah, what's that?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. I took a deep breath, my eyes locked on his. "David," I said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "I've been trying to hold us together. I've ignored the signs, made excuses, told myself you still loved me. But this..." I gestured toward Emily, who looked confused, her fork frozen midair. "Bringing her here, to our family special night? That's too far." The room was silent. My mom's hand flew to her mouth. Jess's jaw dropped. Emily's eyes widened, darting between me and David. "What's going on?" she asked, her voice small. I ignored her and slid the envelope across the table to David. "These are divorce papers," I said, my voice steady now, fueled by a strength I didn't know I had. I had them drawn up weeks ago, but I kept hoping I wouldn't need them. I was wrong. David stared at the envelope like it was a bomb. Sarah, please, he started, but I cut him off. No, David. You don't get to explain this away. Not tonight. Not in front of my family. Not with her sitting there. I turned to Emily, who looked like she wanted to disappear. I don't know what he told you, but I'm his wife. Or at least I was. Emily's face crumpled. His wife, she whispered, turning to David. You said you were separated. The room erupted. My dad stood up, his chair scraping against the floor. David, what is this? He demanded. My mom reached for my hand, squeezing it tightly. Jess just stared, her eyes blazing with anger. David's mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. Emily pushed her chair back, tears welling in her eyes. I didn't know, she said, her voice breaking. I swear I didn't know. She grabbed her purse and fled, the front door slamming behind her. The silence that followed was deafening. David looked at me, his eyes pleading. Sarah, I messed up. I'm sorry. Can we talk about this? Alone. But I was done. I'd spent months, years even, trying to save us. I'd ignored my gut, my pain, my own worth. Not anymore. There's nothing left to say, I told him. You made your choice when you walked in with her. Sign the papers, David. We're done. I walked out of the dining room, my mom and Jess following close behind. In the kitchen, I let the tears come, hot and heavy, but they weren't just tears of sadness. They were tears of relief, of freedom. My mom hugged me, whispering, You're stronger than you know, sweetheart. Jess, never one for soft words, just said, Good riddance. You deserve better. That night, as I lay in my old childhood bedroom, I felt lighter than I had in years. The divorce papers were just the beginning, a step toward reclaiming my life. David tried calling, texting, begging for a second chance, but I didn't answer. I was done letting his choices define me.
So, what do you think, friends? Can you imagine sitting at that dinner table, watching it all unfold? It's a reminder that sometimes the hardest moments are the ones that set you free. If this story hit home for you, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you've got a story of your own about love, betrayal, or finding your strength, share it with us. Let's keep this community growing. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next story. Peace out.